Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you are all having a great day. To start things off, as reported in the previous Ripple/XRP cover by Ethereum World News, Mercury FX announced via Twitter that using XRP on RippleNet that they had transferred around $4,500 and had saved around £79 and in 31 hours during a cross-border transaction from US to Mexico, as seen in the post below. Here's the actual tweet for it. Following up, crypto enthusiasts who put effort to find the transaction on the ledger had no luck. With that, many believe that there existed a private ledger which uses XRP for X-rapid transactions. So the talk was taken on Twitter as David Schwartz was mentioned in question about the hidden ledger. A bit of a backdrop to this. Someone asked me about this a day or two ago on the live chat that I was having. And I looked deeper into it, and this is kind of the resolution for the entire thing. Because apparently there was speculation, and I can only imagine who came up with this speculation. Regardless of if you are using XRP or Bitcoin or Litecoin or Ethereum or there are tons of people out there who are looking at these transactions on a daily basis. And I mean, like, they're diligently looking at them. Like, every single thing that goes through them, there are obviously thousands of people. It's not just one person per blockchain. But they look through all of these things to see exactly what's happening on these platforms, where this money is being sent. And this is why you have certain other videos and stuff like that where people are finding like transactions of like 200 million XRP, or like someone just bought like 3,000, or rather a transaction for 3,000 Bitcoin just went through. So when they mentioned this and no one could find it on the XRP ledger, the rumor was that the Ripple team must have created a second XRP ledger that had like hidden transactions on top of it. So someone tweeted, they said, some seem to think there is a ledger and a hidden ledger, one retail and one for institutions, that will eventually be merged together. This is my understanding. It seems ridiculous as the protocol rules state one state is valid and it's immutable. David Schwartz, who is pretty much the guy who oversees XRP and the, he keeps the network good. I can't think of the exact word right now. He said it's hard to imagine what such a merger would look like. It would have to follow the rules of the public ledger. It's kind of funny. I was actually thinking just today about how cool it would be if you could run the XRPL software in a private ledger node and later then bridge them together. And continue together saying, and later the bridge to the public ledger. For example, you could have an asset issued on both ledgers that's bridged by the validators of the private ledger with multi-sign transactions for the public ledger. It's actually a cool use case to cut transaction fees and scaled. That person then said, that is weird. You were just thinking about that. Just to be clear, for someone I was having a dispute with, there is only one XRP ledger according to the protocol. Is that correct? ? And he said, yes, the authoritative record of who has what XRP is on the XRP ledger. There are ways that you can use real XRP on the private ledgers, but that would require operations of the private ledger to get XRP from somewhere in order to do the bridging, end quote. According to an article published by the Daily Huddle, Ripple says Director Ross Darcy commented that its solutions are designed to make banking transactions as easy and as fast as sending an email or any sharing information on the internet. He said 3 clicks, 30 seconds, receive a confirmation that the end beneficiary has been paid. So as easy as we can do a voice chat or exchange emails, that's exactly how we want the payment experience to be. As of now, this seems to be settled. We've seen other stuff like this before where people haven't found certain transactions on the Bitcoin blockchain transaction history. And people have claimed that certain things were fake, that this never happened. And this is why I think we've seen an uptick in the amount of people who are diligently, that's the word I'm going to use, combing through these transactions to see everything that's kind of going on. As of now, it appears there's only one XRP ledger, not two, not multiple, not other ones that people are using in private or in secret. So yeah, hopefully, and I want to say hopefully we can move on from this, but I know that's not going to happen. There are always people speculating on things like this, or that they think that other things are happening behind the scenes on other, like I've heard so many times that there are actually other Bitcoin blockchains that like institutions are using and they just don't want people to kind of know about because this is how they're accumulating. And it's like, that's probably not the case anyway. This seems to be resolved. But I'm pretty sure we're going to get a whole bunch of speculation within the next couple of months about anything else, because people like to speculate on crypto. Next up, Overstock.com's long-awaited tZero security token trading platform will go live by the end of this week. This was said by CEO Patrick Byrne on last Friday. Byrne told CoinDesk that the company is ready to hit the button and go live today, but was waiting a few more days to process user signups. But by the end of next week, we will be turning the trading system live, he said. It's a big moment for us, 4 years in the making. The announcement means tZero will meet the timetable given last month by Jonathan Johnson, president of Medici Ventures, Overstock's venture capital fund, and tZero's direct payment parent company. Speaking to CoinDesk in December, he said the company would go live in January. It's nice to see that when someone says something, they actually end up doing it. The company has already notified investors in tZero's token sale, which concluded last August, that they will gain access to their tokens. According to a letter to investors, the 3-month lockup period for its tokens has ended, and investors can either create a brokerage account with a broker-dealer and tZero partner Dinosaur Financial Group, or put the tokens in a personal wallet. Some people said, okay, they let people open wallets, but who knows when they turn the trading system on. I wouldn't do that if I wasn't sure the technology was ready to go live. tZero will be led by Stephen Hopkins. Until recently, the chief operating officer and general counsel at Medici. Hopkins will serve as tZero's president, and the startup is now looking to fill 2 other executive positions, head of issuance and head of an in-house broker deal that will serve tZero's retail clients. So apparently this is going to be, as you have read up here, a security token trading platform. I have yet to see exactly which tokens they are going to have on their platform. I am unsure as if it is going to be stocks, bonds, mutual funds, and so that are going to be digitized and that are already considered securities, and therefore these will be the things that will be on their platform, or if it's going to be a cluster of cryptocurrencies that are considered securities by the SEC on the tZero platform. No confirmation anywhere. I haven't been able to find a list of exactly what they're going to launch. I mean, I would speculate that the most logical thing they should be doing is putting cryptocurrencies, or maybe even crypto and like stocks and stuff like that on their platform at the exact same time. That seems to be a bit more advantageous. But on the same exact topic, like there seems to be, like they're calling it the tZero security token trading platform, which leads me to believe that they're just trying to trade things that are considered securities. But then you kind of get into the situation is like, if you're going to add Stellar and you're going to add Neo and you're going to add so-and-so and you're going to add blah, 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 then you might as well just end up adding Bitcoin as well. And then it's kind of like, okay, why not just have a normal cryptocurrency trading platform? Anyway, I'm sure we'll get more news so this is Monday now. We're going to probably get more news about this as the week continues to slide along. This is 4 years in the making. I remember hearing about this at least like 2 or 3 years ago that this was going to happen. I guess everything takes time and you have to get all the paperwork and stuff like that. And I mean, it's really interesting because Overstock was like this. I think they tried to be like the Amazon/eBay of the internet as well. It didn't work out that well for them, but they recently announced that they are going full blockchain, full crypto. And this seems to be what is working out for them. But yeah, let's hope this works out and let's move on. Next up, Switzerland is not satisfied with being a country of particular importance for the world finance. Now it seeks to consolidate itself as one of the most important nations for crypto adoption and its promotion as mechanisms for transferring and storing value. Vontobel, one of the most important private banks in the country, has decided to merge both of these worlds, those of traditional finance and those of cryptocurrencies, announcing the launch of a digital asset vault, a crypto assets custody service that treats them similarly to traditional physical goods. According to the information published on the bank's official website, Roger Studer, head of Vontobel Investment Banking, was quite enthusiastic about the new service when he classified as a logical evolution compared to traditional financial solutions. He said the digital asset vault is a logical evolution that extends our digital asset offerings with our innovative strength and experience. We have closed the existing gap between existing and digital assets by incorporating our digital assets into our own banking infrastructure. We are also the first provider to meet the demanding requirements of financial intermediaries and their regulators, end quote. With this decision, Vontobel becomes the third financial institution in the last 4 months to offer a digital asset custody service after Canada's VersaBank and America's Fidelity made similar announcement. To offer the highest possible security to its customers, Vontobel integrated Hardware Security Module, or HSM, into its own infrastructure that gives users a high-tech encryption option, which in turn complies with the legal stipulations in force in the country. Touching on exactly what we were talking about in the last video, same exact thing with the SEC. Many countries, what they have right now is that they focused on ICOs, they smashed them into the ground. They focused on, or are focusing on, cryptocurrency exchanges, making sure that they are regulatorily compliant with how the country that they may be in deals with other things, especially if they deal with things that are considered securities or commodities, especially with dealing with hacks and stuff like that. And the main thing that seems to be the final driving force to get us home is what's the word? Custody solutions. I was looking for the word somewhere and I couldn't find it. Custody solutions are the last thing that seems to be the thing that will get the cryptocurrency market hopefully going. It seems that whenever major institutions want to get into the cryptocurrency space, they have to obviously enter something that is legal. And the other thing is that they have to have a service that is going to lock up their cryptocurrencies for them so that they don't have to deal with it themselves. Keeping once again in mind, just to drive the point home, one of the largest private banks in Switzerland has opened up their own digital cryptocurrency asset value vault. We have other banks around the world. This is not like Vontobel and Fidelity are the only ones who have announced these type of services, or they're opening cryptocurrency bank accounts or some type of a vault where they lock things up. I just have to, I know a lot of people have been losing faith in crypto. Going over all this news, I believe that crypto is going to be around a lot longer than I previously thought that it would. You have to understand, these aren't, how do I say this? When banks and institutions and Fidelities and so make these moves into a certain space, whether that be them announcing that they're going to be trading commodities, or that they're going to be allowing securities, or that they're going to be launching ETFs or ETNs or hedge funds, or any type of collaboration with anything, it takes years to get into these things. Like, these things don't happen overnight. These banks and stuff like that, and these corporations didn't see that crypto prices went up in 2017 and they were like, now is the time. Let's do it right now. In 13 months, we're going to launch this. It's now is the time. They've been going over this stuff for years. You've heard, besides Overstock, the whole 4-year thing, they've been planning on this for 4 years. Remember, the New York Stock Exchange and the NASDAQ both said before, we've been looking into this for the past 4 years. Cryptocurrencies, in my opinion, are going to become monsters, not the word I want to use. Like, they're going to become this force of something that I don't think a lot of people aren't paying attention to what's happening. And I think even people in the cryptocurrency space don't really get what's taking place. I mentioned something in another video. I'm not sure if it was a what I think is going to happen video, or what so-and-so, or me talking about the future prospects of prices. I mentioned at some point that I definitely saw the price of one XRP that is going to hit $10. And my reasoning was that we hit 360 before we had been listed, announced, base paired on anything like that. Before we got semi-confirmation that Coinbase was going to eventually add it. And the person in the comment section told me that I was completely insane. Said, everyone, don't listen to this guy. He has no idea what he's talking about. XRP can never hit $10 because it'll go over $1 trillion market. If you think at this moment, after everything I've said, everything I've gone over the last year and a half, 2 years, that you think that crypto isn't going to become a multi-trillion-dollar asset class, cryptocurrencies might not be the place for you. And you might want to collect dolls or something like that. And I don't mean that in a weird way. I'm afraid that so many people in the cryptocurrency space right now, when we get to the last all-time highs, they're going to sell off their coins immediately, just trying to break even, not realizing that when you hear over and over, to reiterate once again, that the New York Stock Exchange says that they think that Bitcoin could be a world currency. Why do you think they're saying that unless they've been planning on this happening for quite a long amount of time? Why do you think all this infrastructure is being built? Why do you think some of the largest banks in the entire world are announcing custody solutions or cryptocurrency trading platforms? If crypto was going to die, if prices weren't going to go anywhere, banks would not be touching this. This is why I also think that it's kind of funny that people think that banks aren't into this. I don't know what world or planet you're living on. To put it the nicest way possible, banks pretty much control Bitcoin right now. It's not normal everyday people who are buying 25 Bitcoin at a time, who are buying 10,000 Bitcoin at a time. It's major institutions, it's major banks, because they're preparing for something that they know is going to happen and has been precursed for quite a bit of time. I don't know how to make that any clearer, especially with all the news that we're like, it's not even like usually I give all the news that's kind of out there, the things that are relevant to making money and what have you, that are relevant to the cryptocurrency space. A lot of people think, and I've also seen them right as well, that I only give good news. It's because typically there's only really good news every single day. Like if there's bad news, it's like something that's shutting down, something doesn't have the funding for this anymore. We don't get banned news. We don't get like something like, anything horrific or crazy in cryptocurrency anymore. It's only really good news like this. If you care to keep your mind and your eyes open, pay attention to what's happening. I have to say, not financial advice, but you get what I'm saying. The largest banks in the entire world are accumulating cryptocurrencies. They're creating these storage options. They're not doing these things because they think that crypto is going to disappear after 2 years. You know how many internal talks you have to have as a multi-billion-dollar bank to even bring up the idea that we want to store cryptocurrencies or that we want to trade cryptocurrencies? Why would you want to do that to a dying industry? Have you not seen the price of Bitcoin? It's completely gone down. 2018, we saw all these people continue to rush in, and even with prices going down now and all the news that we see, and there's so much of it talking about that Bitcoin's done, Bitcoin's going to zero, the prices of everything are so and so and so. Why is everything so low? We're more choppy waters, things are going to continue to get worse. Yet every single day we have announcements like this with people opening up things or announcing that they're going to be doing these things. These aren't just because you may not recognize the name Vontobel doesn't mean that these institutions aren't important. Like these things aren't just normal banks that on the other side of the world who maybe cater to, 30 people who have $10,000 in their bank account. These are multi-billion-dollar banks. Just thought I'd reiterate that because I think a lot of people don't get it. Crypto is going to go multi-trillion at some point. If you don't believe that, I have done my best to try to convince you over the course of, over 800 videos right now. If you don't get it, you're probably never going to get it. I'm trying to be as nice as possible. Crypto is going to be absolutely insane, and I want everyone to really get this. I want it to come home. Put all the pieces together and think about what's happening in these countries, these people who are using Bitcoin because their local currencies are collapsing. How many banks and institutions and funds are buying up as much cryptocurrency as they possibly can as prices are falling because they see what's going to happen. We made it to $800 billion with normal people in the market. Estimates now at this moment, and I know we're going to surpass it, is that crypto is eventually going to be anywhere from $3 to $5 trillion market. And this only encompasses a small amount of coins. When you look at the news that's going around, it's fairly obvious to see that not a lot of coins are going to make it. We're going to have a very large crypto purge. Whenever we have another bull run up, a lot of coins are going to go up in price, and then the bigger ones are going to start expanding a lot farther than the other ones because these are the ones that have been announced as base pairs or that are being used by other institutions and stuff like that, have been integrated into banks, what have you. And it's believed that the rest of the coins are going to completely shrink. A lot of the coins that people think and keep telling me to talk about because they think that they're going to moon are not going to moon. They're going to Earth. They're going to slam down to the center of the Earth, and the crypto market is going to expand this way. And as we continue forward, because once again, it's believed that we've already gone through our .com bust, that the next generation of coins that come out, potentially, depending on how you want to call them, the 3.0 or the 4.0 coins, are going to give birth to some of the largest things that we have in the cryptocurrency space. Anyway, I read things like this, and I think people think I'm just talking out of my backside. I mean, look at the news. Look at these things that are happening with these major banks around the world. When you as a major institution do something like this and it fails, you lose all credibility that you ever had. And you can't bet on something as willy-nilly as cryptocurrencies. Like, they know that something is going to happen because at this point they control it. These people have more cryptocurrency than they're letting on. As a major bank in Switzerland, you're not offering these services to your customers without holding the asset yourself. That's not how things work. You don't tell people that they can lock up gold and silver in your vaults when you hold no gold and silver. Please pay attention. That's all I have to say. Let's continue on. Next up, the popular crypto payments platform known as CoinGate has now integrated Litecoin's Lightning Network into its system. This will allow users to have cheaper and faster payments using the new implementation. The information about it has been released by Surgshark, a VPN provider that became one of the first companies in the market to accept Litecoin payments using the Lightning Network. In the future, other companies could start using this scaling solution. The Lightning Network will allow Litecoin to scale its network and allow merchants and companies to transact funds in a very easy way all around the world. Veronica Mishura, marketing manager of CoinGate, the Lightning Network, said the Lightning Network will incentivize the use of Litecoin among other digital assets. She said, VPNs are, to be honest, one of the most frequently used services by crypto enthusiasts, what we see by our data. However, due to quite a low price, it is usually a no-win to pay for it with Bitcoin or Litecoin, and that's exactly what is driving Lightning forward. In the future, there will be many other merchants accepting Litecoin payments using the Lightning Network. Here's a tweet from Charlie Lee. He said, even Litecoin will soon have more than 1,000 merchants accepting LN payments. I'm always 50-50 on Litecoin, or maybe 40-60, maybe 30-70. I think, well, I know Litecoin is going to survive in the cryptocurrency space. It may not even be on the same number ranking where it is right now, but it's going to be around. We don't really have a lot of news about Litecoin from institutions and stuff like that, but I wonder if it's simply because they're focusing on the name Bitcoin to try and get other people into to drive them into the cryptocurrency space, as it is the most well-known coin. But if there's something happening behind the scenes as well with companies and institutions talking about that they're going to be allowing Litecoin on their platform as well, like, I'm not bearish on Litecoin, but we get so few news about it, and anytime that we did have news, it was always about some type of shenanigan or something that Charlie Lee ended up doing. However, and this still holds true to what I said before, if we end up getting confirmation from the New York Stock Exchange or the NASDAQ or anyone else at this point that they're going to list Litecoin as their platform, especially for Bakkt, if we get confirmation that it's going to be Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and any other coin on their platform to be used as a payment option, sky's the limit. I'm completely bullish on them for the next 10 years. But I need confirmation that, it sucks now because with prices this low, air quotes, it's like a really weird risk because you don't know which coins are going to be added to these platforms, and you kind of want to make like a future bet of it, because I think Litecoin will do fairly well as the market is going up, but it won't do as well if we get confirmation that the New York Stock Exchange and the NASDAQ are going to use it. But I have a strange inkling that this may also be why, I don't know if you realize, this is like the third or fourth article that we've seen pertaining to Litecoin and the Lightning Network over the last 2 or 3 weeks. I think there may be something happening behind the scenes where they're desperately trying to get the Lightning Network to move a lot faster. There was also some news a couple days ago where they were talking about how the capacity of the Lightning Network on Litecoin had increased. Something may be happening behind the scenes where they're, because I think it would be foolish of them to announce that you can use cryptocurrencies as payments and simply just have it with Bitcoin. I think Litecoin would probably be a good fit, as it is one of the oldest coins. Anyway, I just thought that was quite interesting that there's another push for the Lightning Network. I'm excited to see when exchanges start announcing that they're going to be using Lightning for Bitcoin and Litecoin to be able to process transactions and stuff like that. I think that'll be another major moment for both of the coins. Anyway, let's move on. Next up, Venezuela is in the news. Venezuela, the country seeing new Bitcoin trade volumes on an almost weekly basis, is going to get its first ever Bitcoin ATM. In an interview with local radio and news media outlet known as Union Radio, Jorge Farias, CEO of Panama-based crypto buyer, said that the machine has already arrived in the country's capital of Caracas. He said, we are going to install the first cryptocurrency ATM in Venezuela over the course of the next 2 weeks. We already have the equipment physically installed in Venezuela and Caracas. It is in the final test stage, and we will be making an announcement on social networks. The pioneering move comes amid even more difficult times for Venezuelans. As Bitcoin is variously reported, a toxic mix of hyperinflation, travel, and forex restrictions has made life for the average citizen often impossible. And then also the controversy that the government of Venezuela created their own cryptocurrency called the tZero, that they're trying to make it so that you legally have to use this in order to be able to buy a passport to leave the country. So we've seen before, there's a website called Local Bitcoin. Anyway, that is incredibly popular right now. And what needs to, I mean, we had a chart before that we could see like the amount of people buying had completely skyrocketed in Venezuela over the course of 2018 as their currency ended up hitting 1,000,000% hyperinflation. I think one ATM is a good start, but we obviously need more. I wonder exactly, I assume it'll do fairly well. I feel like Venezuela is like the perfect country to be able to adopt Bitcoin as quickly as possible, or any other cryptocurrency, especially when we know that Dash is also being used by like their Subway, and I assume they have a Taco Bell, just throwing the name out there. Anyway, the point is, I hope this is successful. I wish more people in the country would buy further into cryptocurrencies, but when you have 1,000,000% hyperinflation, it's typically not that easy. If you've ever watched any documentaries in the last like year of what's happening in Venezuela, people have like gigantic plastic bags filled with their local currency, and it's barely enough to buy a carton of milk and a thing of flour. Kind of insane, but this is good news. Especially, I'm hopeful that during the last year, as prices have fallen down, that people in Venezuela have had the opportunity to at least push some type of money into the cryptocurrency space, so that when we do eventually have these prices going back up, that they are the ones who profit from it. And in turn, in a situation where, you put X amount of money inside of it, it ends up going to 50, 20 times what you put inside of it. And you can tell your friends and family members, hey, I'm making a lot of money off of this. They end up also buying into the thing as well, and then start using it as daily payment within their country because their local currency is garbage. So yeah, fingers crossed, because South America and Africa are very well poised right now to adopt cryptocurrencies. It's just a matter of if they can adopt it quick enough before their governments figure this out and try to stop the whole operation. To kind of finish things off, this appears to be happening. I'm going to try and skim through it. It's a pretty long article, but it's something, and I think I've heard whispers of this happening, but no one knows for sure. Just a little under 2 weeks short 2 weeks ago, Malcolm Lerdiger, quietly and inconspicuous, announced his departure from the Neo team in an official tweet. He said, I owe the community an apology for being quiet the last 2 months, and as I have been in the process of leaving Neo. There's the actual tweet. While vague, we can at least glean from it that Malcolm Lerdiger has not only left the Neo team, but that there has been in the works for a substantial amount of time. Malcolm Lerdiger, who has not been active since the above tweet, was posted on his social media page. So, scroll down a bit more. It says, as the title of the article suggests, Malcolm Lerdiger was certainly not the first notable individual to announce that they were leaving the Neo protocol. Katerina Tseng, who served as the director of marketing and community operations for Neo from November 2017 through September 2018, is another major recent departure. Neo's founder, Da Hongfei, has been the subject of major scrutiny from the cryptocurrency community, and for good reason. Much of the speculation began throughout early 2018 that the Neo project was being abandoned by developers because of the lack of notable comments to its GitHub, as in comparison to how active it was in 2017. The speculation about Da Hongfei's true involvement with Neo heightened in July 2018, when a recording was leaked by extremely powerful and influential blockchain leader Xiaolai Li, in which he accused Da Hongfei of erecting Neo as a get-rich-quick scheme, and stated that Hongfei has already divested the entirety of his Neo holdings. Without reading much further, because like I said, it continues to go on. The question mark over everyone's head right now is Neo actually still up and running? Is it still a thing? It appears that we have information that there are some of the other leaders or CEOs or main people on the project that they have not only liquidated all of their Neo, but they're not even completely a part of it anymore, especially because typically with other cryptocurrency projects, there's a website called GitHub, and it's pretty much you write new code updates, you let other people know what's happening. It's kind of like social media, but for cryptocurrencies. That's a horrible way to explain it, but you kind of get what I'm saying. And everyone always updates their GitHub to tell about new updates and other things that are being proposed on the network, what have you. As Neo has been relatively silent, more silent than any other cryptocurrency project that's been out there in 2018, a lot of people are wondering if it's actually dead, but no one is simply talking about it. So all speculation. But I mean, when you have a recording, I don't know, that kind of is a bit sketchy. Yeah, so like I said, it can't all be rainbows and sunshine. I do have to report on the bad things happening as well. If you happen to have Neo, Neo's actually one of the projects that I was not bullish on, but I thought would do well during a bull run. I have no long-term prospects for Neo. You may have noticed if you were here throughout the entirety of 2018, you can probably count the amount of times that I spoke about Neo in a video on one hand, maybe even then. But if you do happen to have Neo, I would implore you to do your own research, to dig a bit deeper, and then come to a conclusion as to if you would like to continue to have your money in that project. If you still believe in it in the long term, by all means go for it. If you feel like something is amiss or something is fishy or you don't care for the current situation that's going on, it might be time to reevaluate your position in the market. And yeah, I think that is definitely going to do it for this video. Hope you all enjoyed. Hope you all are having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I hope it's absolutely amazing. The market is trying to push itself back up, especially from the last video. Let's hope that we can actually do it. Thank you all once again for watching and or listening. And yeah, I'll talk to you all soon. See you.